Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teen accounts.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
If you ask most investors what the best real estate investments are today, you'll hear the usual answers. Multifamily apartments, commercial buildings, maybe even data centers. Everyone is chasing the hot, same asset classes. But what if one of the most resilient, cash-flowing real estate investments in America has been hiding in plain sight this entire time? And what if that opportunity is directly tied to one of the biggest economic problems we're facing today? The affordability crisis in housing. Millions of Americans are struggling to afford rent. Home prices continue to rise. And in the middle of that challenge sits an asset class that many investors overlook, underestimate, or completely ignore: mobile home communities. So today's guest, Leo Young, has built his career around that same exact opportunity. Leo's journey is anything but conventional. He went from working as a top salesperson at Tesla, one of the most demanding and high-performance companies in the world, to building a real estate portfolio of over 500 units focused on manufactured housing communities. But what makes his story interesting isn't just the numbers, it's the strategy behind it. Leo believes the best investments aren't always the most popular ones. They're the ones solving real problems, and affordable housing may be one of the biggest opportunities of the next decade. In this episode, we'll talk about why mobile home parks have quietly outperformed many traditional real estate investments, how operators create value in the space, the risks most investors overlook, and how passive investors, from busy professionals to entrepreneurs, are using this asset class to build long-term wealth. If you've ever wondered where the next great real estate opportunity might be hiding, this conversation might change the way you think about investing. So let's dive in. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Financial Freedom Podcast. We have Leo Young. He was Tesla's top salesperson to moving into affordable housing operator. He built a 500-unit real estate portfolio. Now he's talking about being an operator, revitalizing America's mobile home communities. I'm happy to have him on to discuss investing in mobile home communities. Leo, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Chris. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, you've had a very successful career, closed a lot of real estate transactions, a lot of deals in the tens of millions, operating hundreds of units. Introduce yourself. We'll dive into the questions.
My background wasn't very linear. Studying finance in college, I love numbers, I love investing, love philosophy. Figuring out investing is ultimately you making a strategic bet, prediction of the future, placing your bets there. I really like that. After college, I did a pivot. I put my feet to the fire, got better at sales. I'm an introvert by nature. Communication, sales, I really hated it. But what better way than to jump in feet first? Tesla was an amazing company. It was my dream company to work for. I would have done anything for that company. I was really grateful for that experience. It shaped me a lot as an entrepreneur, the work ethic. I've never seen any work culture like that before. Everyone was so dialed in. Then transitioned from there, got into real estate. I started investing as a passive investor during my time at Tesla because I was getting burnt out, fell in love with real estate after I started getting distribution checks, became a real estate agent, helping people transact in residential, commercial properties, all different asset classes and properties. Got recruited to a real estate fund. I was working on their team, seeing how institutions look at acquisitions. Then started Cornell Communities, a private equity real estate firm. We focus on manufactured housing and we have two missions. One mission, obviously, make investors money. The second mission, more importantly, is to provide affordable housing to people. Affordability is a problem in today's market. We want to do our part to solve it.
How does investing in mobile homes come into play? Is that your sole investment strategy?
Because we're operators of the property, we choose to get good at one playbook. Each commercial asset is its own business. If you're running an industrial versus a multifamily property, completely different way to run these properties. We picked manufactured housing communities / mobile home parks. We got good at it. We built up our team, structures, processes to do that.
Next question. Who is your investor base? Contacts work with you and ultimately invest with you?
There's two main walks of life that people come to us with. One, they're either a successful business owner, they're crushing it in their business, they understand the value of their time, and they realize, okay, I want some great returns. I want to diversify out of my business. I don't have time to get good at something else. So I want to pick someone that's good, someone that's focused on their lane, and invest with them. That's one bucket. The other one is busy professionals. They have a nice career. They're in finance, tech, healthcare. They're making great income, but they can't have another job. They want to build passive income. They want to build wealth while spending time on their career, making more money.
Mm-hmm. You talk about your decision to focus solely on mobile home parks. A lot of the audience, they're talking about multifamily apartments. Now there's data centers. Commercial has taken a backseat over the last 6 years. Why mobile home parks?
It's a very interesting question. Any asset class can perform well. Operations is the important part. What most people overlook, they see a nice, sexy number on the pitch deck. They're like, wow, this is so great. Oh, data centers, AI, oh, sign me up. In reality, it's the operations that matters, why we like it. The asset class in general, it's got characteristics that make sense for this market cycle. There's inflation in the marketplace, costs are going up. People are looking for more affordable housing options. They're naturally going to stay in these communities because these are super affordable compared to other housing options within the same city or town. You could be paying $700 in lot rent compared to $2,200 for an apartment. People gravitate towards that. If there's difficulties in the economy, recession, these assets perform very well. This was the only asset class that went up in value during the last recessions in 2008. Everything else tanked. This one went up. That's one thing we like very much. The second, tying into operations. This is a very simple business model because we like to rent out the land and not own the homes. It's a win-win because the residents own their own homes, they build equity, they have a place to call their own. For us, it's less maintenance, hassle, less cost to maintain, which means less insurance costs, more profit. Commercial properties are valued on their net operating income. That increases, which magnifies the value.
Quick pause here. If this episode is making you rethink how your income is structured, that's intentional. Information doesn't create freedom, structure does. At the end of this episode, I'm going to show you how to diagnose whether you're building leverage or just scaling complexity. Let's get back into it. You're based in New York. What areas are popular for mobile home parks?
The Southeast is very hot. Past few years, North Carolina, a lot of institutions, private equity, family offices, they're piling into the Southeast because population growth, great rent to income ratio, very stable market, very optimistic for the long run. We have assets there. We're very careful on what we buy because it's very easy to overpay in this space. There's a lot of people, they overpay and can't service their debt. Trouble happens afterwards. You have to be disciplined with it. We also do the Midwest.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Cologuard. If you recorded songs off the radio for a mixtape, it might be time to screen for colon cancer. The Cologuard test is non-invasive, requires no special prep or time off, and you start screening right from your home. It's just 3 simple steps: set up, sample, and ship. If you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your doctor about the Cologuard test. Available by prescription only. Learn more or request a prescription at Cologuard.com/podcast.
The investors that come to you have to be accredited? What are the minimums, holding periods, the income and net worth requirements?
We have offerings not necessarily just for accredited investors. Accredited investors have the best opportunities out there, have the best access, have a lot. for non-accredited people. We have friends and family. A huge reason we started the firm, we wanted to buy mobile home parks ourselves. We're like, wow, this is such a great investment thesis. Everyone's piling in. There's a window of opportunity for us to buy assets. Why not share this opportunity with friends and family, make money for them? That's what we did. We made our friends and family a good amount of money. They're happy. They reinvest with us. They refer their friends out and so forth. Our investment minimums around 50,000. We try to be on the lower realm of private equity. Private equity opportunities could be 100,000, 250,000. We try to be on the lower end. We want to democratize access. We want to give as many people access as we can.
People that own their home on mobile home parks, talk about the downsides of investing in mobile home parks, the clientele, the downside risks to be aware about.
Like any investments, there are downside risks with everything. The downside is that they're hard to manage. The clientele residents, generally blue collar, lower income, they have a lot of day-to-day issues my team deals with on the back end so that our investors don't have to. The upside is these assets cash flow really well. If you put those two together, it's great to be a limited partner. Great cash flow. You don't have to manage the residents. Other thing, infrastructure is very important to look into for these assets because the unique zoning, mobile home parks, they're not allowing too many more of these projects. It's very hard to get them approved. Most of them are 50 to 70 years or even older. They have septic tanks that are far beyond their useful life. You have to be prepared to make necessary repairs, set aside budget for it, because we want to continue offering this type of housing. We don't want to have the property shut down or condemned. You'll see a lot of these properties get sold for land value and get redeveloped. There's a deal that we're looking at right now. It's in a really good city. The offer we're trying to beat is a multifamily developer who wants to develop a 200-unit apartment building there. We're like, hey, we want to continue offering this kind of housing. We're trying to talk with the seller on that.
What are some of the success stories that you've had from going from Tesla to real estate and building this fund? Talk about some of the returns that you've had.
Yeah, as far as success for our fund, we've had projects that were, call it a year, 2 years ahead of our business plan. We're able to double our investors' investment. Rule of thumb, we try to double our investors' investment once every 5 years, but we've done it in 2 years for one of our projects. Not typical, but it's a result of us being super disciplined when it comes to underwriting, submitting offers, and operating well. There's others that come in at a lower expense. We get technical with it. We have a better expense ratio. Why do investors care? The less your expenses, the more profit. You divide that by the valuation, the cap rate, you get a bigger profit. That's how it all ties together. For
the audience listening, Leo's resource will be in the show notes. I encourage you to check them out and follow him. Talk about being a first-generation immigrant entrepreneur. Your background was in finance. How does your perspective and experiences prepare you to succeed in this area? You and me, we grew up around financial scarcity, cultural expectation. My parents wanted me to become a doctor, this deep desire for stability. How did those make you successful in this area?
Here's where we get raw, because there's one side where there aren't expectations. I was very fortunate that my parents wanted me to be happy. They never pushed me to become one way or the other, probably because they knew that they couldn't out-debate me. I was an annoying kid. I debated a lot. Growing up, I did have that playbook. I was an immigrant. I came to America at the end of high school. The ways of thinking are established. I didn't have mentor figures. I didn't have people that truly cared for my success. In school, teachers care about the top 10% and the bottom 10%. The middle 80, just get by, because teachers don't get paid enough to care. I was one of those people. I had to figure out everything on my own. My journey was not very logical. I wandered. I went wide when others went deep. After finance, I didn't go into an accounting role. I went into sales. Then I went into entrepreneurship. I had roundabout ways to get into this. A lot of time, there was a lot of doubt. Is this the right move? Should I keep going? How do I do this? How do I make money? I think the fortunate part is that when you try hard enough and when you have enough self-belief, then you build value. When you're in the world, when you're in the economy, it's the marketplace of value, right? You want to give me $1 because you value my product or service more than the dollar in your hand. Because I went the wide route as opposed to going deep, I'm able to give a unique value to the table that when I talk to people, they're like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Some finance guy went into sales, conquered his fears. Now I'm more well-rounded. I think trusting yourself, working hard no matter what, that's how I got here.
I resonate with a lot of your responses. For immigrants, how do you encourage them to deal with self-doubt, imposter syndrome, being an outsider, not fitting in? Because model of success is, how do you help people shatter that stereotype? When people see that, they're like, I won't fit in, I'm not going to be successful.
It goes far deeper than any answer that I can come up with right now, but I will try. It is huge, the American white culture that's pushed upon everyone, because Hollywood, the best music, NFL, sports, everyone idolize white Americans and hey, it has influenced a lot of people. But I think we are changing. We're very fortunate that the world is changing. It's becoming more globalized. I was thinking, first off, how is it that 2016, 10 years ago? Looking back to 2016, things were different. The comments I used to get for being Asian, I won't get them anymore. It's very different. It is hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but you must trust yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself, if you don't have confidence in yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, who else will? No one else is going to live your life. You can sit there in your pity party and no one's coming to save you. Once I realized that, internalized it, I'm like, I don't care. There was a moment in my life, looked in the mirror. I'm like, I can't change how I look. So I'm just going to be who I am. I'm going to be the best version of myself. It's easier said than done. When you do that, the world will come to you. When you become valuable, money, opportunity will find you. More life will find you too. You connect with more interesting people. You have more opportunities. Everything comes when you try hard and believe in yourself.
What a fantastic way to end it. How can people connect with you? You have a podcast too, and reach out to you and learn more about mobile home investing.
I'll break it into three. If folks want to learn more about mobile home parks, our team, potentially investing with us, please visit us at cornellcommunities.com, CORNELCOMMUNITIES.com. Happy to set a conversation, see if it's a good fit. If you want to check out my podcast, I interview successful entrepreneurs, go into the nitty gritty. I don't talk about just the accomplishments. I talk about what went into it. How did you become who you are? What did you have to overcome? How did you build your company? The systems you put into place, the people you hire. That's called The Journey. Search The Journey, Leo Young, and you'll find it. Last but not least, if you want to message me, I'm happy to be a resource. Find me on LinkedIn, Instagram. LinkedIn is Leo Young, LEOYOUNG. Instagram is Leo Young Real Estate.
Awesome. I really enjoyed this. The last guest, we share so many commonalities, similarities, and backgrounds. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's zoom out. If you're a physician, founder, or high-income professional, and you feel like you're working harder every year, but not structurally freer, you're not alone. The mistake isn't effort, it's architecture. This show exists to help you convert expertise into scalable leverage, faster and with fewer expensive missteps. Here's the diagnostic I mentioned before. If your income requires your constant presence, if your capital isn't compounding outside your profession, if your highest value talent is doing low value tasks, you don't have a growth problem, you have a leverage design problem. And if you want to fix it with clarity instead of guesswork, I offer a limited number of one-on-one leverage strategy sessions each month. We audit your income model, capital deployment, authority positioning, and structural bottlenecks, and design your highest return move. If you're serious about compressing years into months, the link to apply is below.